debates, it used to be the grand scale of anything, political, social. It didn't matter. And it came to doing things, when it came to a discussion, when it came to the conclusions of any situation, the debate was how you went about it. And it was good. And it helped solve so many things. The whole idea at first was to get up there on stage or your soapbox with an opponent and you would talk. You would go over your key, arguments. You would, espouse for what you thought, believed in, or had been guided towards, and your opponent would do the same. The crowd, the audience, the participants, the patrons at the time, what they did was they listened. There was just listening, and they heard both sides. And it would sway them one way or the other. And those on the debate stage, they would say, wow, this is a great debate. This is a great argument. And you know what? You swayed me on some things. It used to be that way. That's what debates were. They were a great way to swing beliefs, ideologies, ideas, spark possible innovations when it comes to how our structures were. That's what debates were. And then at some point, debates became a little more research intensive. And it's not the research that's the problem. It's the intent of the research that is the problem. See, instead of I research my position on something, no, I have to research the opposition. I have to, not the person, but what they're going to research. So I have to figure out what they can do to counter my arguments. What is it on the opposing side? Not just learn my side and stick to my guns, and what happens, and then just, hey, that's a good argument and you swayed me, like I stated before. No, it turned into not only how do I argue what I think, what I've researched, what I've lived, or my interests. No, I have to research how you're going to try to argue against me so I can tear you down. That is when the debates started to fail. Because debates should have been, as I said, it's just arguments. It's just you talking and trying to get your point across. And you might sway from one side to the other. You might start saying, oh, that's got a good idea. That makes sense. Interesting. No, it became my side has to be right. I have to win. That's the key thing. Win this debate. You have debate classes, championships, and things like that. So you go up and you learn how to talk. You learn how to counter. You learn how to mudsling. You learn how to deface their character. You learn how to destroy them while bolstering yourself. And crowds enjoyed it. It was a great show. But then it became the thing. So now you've got crowds. They don't show up and try to listen and see, okay, well, this guy says this and this guy says that, or this girl says this, girl says that, or mix it up, guy, girl, or this team or that team. No, they stopped that. They went into, I came on this side. They came on that side. Who's right? And that's the problem. Debates went from let's have a discussion and try to figure this out. Let's argue our thoughts, our desires, and how to get to the achieved goal. It went from that to who's right? Who's right in the debate? Who's right? And then you thought it would just probably end there because it lasted there for about 50 years. And then I personally believed when you got into debates when I was growing up, if you got into a debate, that was the epsilon of discussion. That was the zenith of feeling awesome. You get to speak your mind, say what you want to say, argue on behalf of yourself. And if they add something that was pretty cool, you can say, that was awesome. I think I'm going to use that too. I see your point in that part. Maybe you might get swayed to their side completely, or they might get swayed to yours. You might switch at some point. No, that's not how it was. And I was disappointed. I was let down. So then debates turned into what we have seen in politics. And politics it trickles down. That's one thing that trickles down. The stupidity and vitriol of politics. It trickles down into everything. So then politics came. What happens with debates? The politicians get on the debate stage, and it turns into what? What did it turn into? Remember Clinton? Remember Bush? Obama? Remember how those went? Who won? That was all that anyone cared. Who won? I mean, and it's been that way for a long time. It's 50 years now. It lasted 50 years. And I think it was Nixon and Kennedy that kind of put that to, it solidified that what it evolved into per se. You know what? De-evolved. What it de-evolved into, who won. And that's lasted with us for 40 generations, not generations, but 40 years. And so now what do we have? Who won? Who won the debate? Who assassinated whose character? Who got up there with the scope and picked somebody apart with one shot after another? Take out the shoulders so they can't really do much. They can't support themselves on the podium. Took out the knees so they can't really they have to drop down. They can't get their heads above the podium, and then shot them right in the head. Who won the debate? Because the crowds aren't listening. They don't want to hear opposing sides. They just want to hear their side. Did my candidate win the debate? Yes, because I'm partisan. Did Hillary win the debate against Obama? Did Hillary win the debate against Trump? Who won? Who won? That's all that anyone cared about. And you know what? They won. We lost. Because we care about who the hell wins the debate instead of what the debate was supposed to be about. It could have, and you know, the Trump supporters, yay! Hillary supporters, yay! But what about the supporters of policy, the supporters of freedom, the supporters of democracy, the supporters of to end our daily and nightly sufferings and bring in some positivity? What about the yays for that? Instead, just insults. I'm better than this one. I'm better. Vote for me because, you know, I do better. I have money. I have the backings of millions and billionaires. That's all it was. I mean, debates have just de-evolved. And now the definitions of debates is now just, you know, a discussion. That's all it is. It's just an argument. It's not about anything intellectual. It's not about anything grand. It's just about winning. You say something, you win. That's all the debate is now. When I go up on that stage, I win. You got words to say, you lose. Well, let me tear down your character. Let me insult you. Let me embarrass you. Let me cheap pop the people listening to me so that I get yays from them and boos from your side. It's just a stage act. And I would think that people would notice that. That's what I was hoping. People would notice it's just a stage act. And I don't know how to get people to go beyond this, how to make them better, how to improve a debate or make a debate go back to the way it used to be. Because I don't care to go back and forth. The way mine is, look, what do you want to make? A ham sandwich? Okay. Put the bread, the meat, you're done. There you go. Ham sandwich. To me, it ain't about who's right. You put the ham this side up. You put the ham that side down. You turn the bread 19 degrees or 20 degrees. Do you put it in the sunlight while you're making it or not? It ain't about that. You slap that mess together and you're done. And then someone wants to debate and say, well, he's making a ham sandwich and it might taste good, but can it? Because when you really think about it, look at this person's home. Is it a wreck? Do they say things that you don't agree with? Are they living a life that's equal to what you aspire to live? If not, then how can you trust that ham sandwich to be good? And then the one chewing on the sandwich is like, are you out of your mind? It's delicious. But then the crowd is like, you know what? You got a point. I ain't like you in the first place. And that ham sandwich sucks because it's you. And, I'm on their side. Not one person would say, maybe you ought to try that ham sandwich. It might actually be good. And if they did say it, they probably get their ass beat. They probably get thrown out and chastised, ostracized, because that's debates now. It's I'm right, you're wrong, deal with it. I mean, South Park, they did a thing, not on debates, but when the aliens came, and this is so long ago, I ain't watched South Park in ages. But yeah, the aliens came, and it's like, they took our job. And then later, took a job. Later, took a job. Later, took a job. Took a job. Took a third. And by the time it got down to third, it was funny because I was like, I know exactly what they said, and it sucks and it's stupid, but it was funny. And well, me and my co-host, we use that usually as a gag joke, picking on people. Someone saying something and it's just stupid and they're sticking to their guns and it just sounds so slack-jawed, unintellectual and all this. We do that. That's our thing. If y'all want to do that, do it. We just find it funny. But debates, at the end of the day, are meaningless. And I wish that we could get some meaning back into it, because I'll be honest with you, last video, video before last with the whole AN thing, the anti-natalist thing, one person said debates are about disagreeing. And I mean, that's pretty much it. Debates are about disagreeing. I'm like, well, what's the point? That's not a debate. That's not even a conversation. You're not gonna agree. You're not gonna listen. It's just your side. Then there is no debate. And that point, debates are dead, I guess. This is Cedric, candidate for comparative reasoning. Thank you for listening.